Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohd Razif Maidin and I'm a PhD student from College of Engineering UiTM Shah Alam. My student ID is 2021405254 and the title of my research is Development of Crime Risk Assessment for Investigation Officer using IONIC framework. I have been supervised by Dr. Fahmi, Dr. Hairim Nuzal, Dr. Ayu and Dr. Emelina. Today, I will do a short presentation of my progress work. Before I proceed further, this is basically the structure of my presentation. It will consist of brief introduction of my research work, status of major research milestone, problem statement, objective, scope of work, literature review, research methodology, data collection and data analysis. I will also explain on the Gantt chart of my progress, my publication status, my status of thesis writing and planning for next semester. Without further ado, let's proceed with the presentation. As the main response agency in Malaysia, the Royal Malaysian Police or RMP and its officers involved in solving criminal cases on a regular basis. In response to the investigation, they need to make an accurate decision to the crime cases that will affect to the prosecution procedure in criminal justice framework. They also have a huge responsibility and commitment to make ethical, legal and informed decisions that protect the public's confidence in their ability to maintain law and order in our communities. During their investigation, the assigned investigation officer may face difficult challenges in performing his or her duties, including making critical and unbiased decisions and assessing investigative risk. They also might face many challenges such as lack of experience and knowledge constraints which can affect decision-making processes. They is often required to rapidly make critical decisions, sometimes involving life and death. With the advancement of the technology, computers can assist to suggest a variety of decision support solutions that can be utilized by the investigation officers to support their determination, judgment, and courses of action. This is the problem statement of my research work. Number 1 is not everyone in the police force has the skill or knowledge to deal with the variety of crime situation. Many decision-making techniques for investigation officer in RMP are learned through experience and trial and error problem solving. These issues also affect on the criminal justice framework such as an inappropriate evidence or irrelevant data for the prosecution procedure. Number 2 is normally decision-making process is based on IO personal experience. When dealing with criminal cases, IO may be exposed to a number of security-threatening vulnerabilities if he or she has a little experience or understanding. The right decision can minimize the impact of a criminal case while providing the necessary and safe measures to avoid unwanted risks. Number 3, the expert opinion or judgment is important to assist IO in decision-making process to ensure an efficient and effective organization. Unfortunately, experts may not always be present when needed. Therefore, the importance of a computerized system to assist IO during the response to criminal cases is required. And number 4, current reporting system uses paper which is outdated and costly. Furthermore, this does not encourage IO to learn from the previous experience and it is not easily retrieved for referral. The objective of this research is to determine a risk appetite index and crime risk metric for assessing the likelihood of criminal cases within RMP framework based on statistical analysis. Risk appetite index can be defined as the amount and type of risk that an organization is willing to take in order to meet their strategic objective, risk tolerance or acceptable level of risk before making the decision. When risk matrices are simple tools to rank and prioritize risks of general adverse events and to make decisions whether certain risks can be tolerated. A risk matrix displays the basic properties, consequences, and likelihood of an adverse event and the aggregate notion of risk by means of a graph. It uses discrete categories of consequences, likelihood, and risk. Research objective number 2 is to design framework of integrated crime risk assessment system or ICRAS. So this is basically a system flow process or system framework. So this framework will show how it is going to move from start to end. And research objective number 3 is to develop ICRAS mobile application for investigation officer. It is a computerized system for IO to use. With this kind of system, it is hoped that ICRAS can assist IO to make a variety of well-informed judgments that can be utilized to support their determination, judgment, and courses of action. So, this is the scope and limitation of the study. The scope of this research will include all relevant studies and description of the limitation of risk factors and predictive models. It will be centered on crime index as the aim is to design and develop a database for an integrated crime risk assessment system for investigation officer. Data collection is based on the violent and property crime confirmed cases that reported in Shah Alam district from 2010 to 2021. And this research will exclude unconfirmed case, fake reporting call, misinformation and improper recording technique to avoid low accuracy to the system. The limitation of this study includes all the availability of the case report at the Shah Alam District Police Headquarters. The availability is based on the document itself because some documents might be incomplete due to improper documentation and filing system. The constraint of this research include cost, security, transportation charges required during the collection process. The priority in developing this mobile application system is focused on the operating environment of a laptop. This project requires to understand the software development kit or SDK to create application for ICRAS. Here are the some selected stories of this research work. If you can see that this is a few models that are implemented in such a country in Amsterdam, Germany, Switzerland, US, UK, Miami, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. So this is some models have a different method and use the different data in order to run this kind of application. This is all the mobile application from the different country in the world. And this is the literature review that have been carried out regarding the computerized system in order to help operative to make the decision. There is a method, outcome, advantage and disadvantage of that kind of system. And we go to the research methodology of this research work. So we have to understand risk assessment and establishing the RMP risk assessment index necessitates a systematic approach to analyzing or assessing documents, both printed and electronics. So these materials were then evaluated using tool validity, which refers to the degree to which a study tool is generally assessing what it is supposed to measure in terms of academic accomplishment. The content validity and face validity approaches were used to develop a risk assessment index, and this study acknowledged the use of both validity methods to measure the success in acquiring evidence and data, because document analysis necessitates the examination and interpretation of data in order to rekindle meaning, obtain understanding, and develop or observe knowledge. The content validity approach will be employed. So content validity method will be used because document analysis requires the data to be examined and interpreted in order to handle the meaning, gain understanding, and develop observe knowledge. So content validity is can be defined as validation of research tool based on credible resources. So for the face validity is the less rigorous method, because the only process involved is reviewing the measure and making the determination of content validity is based on the face of the measure. So logical validity is more methodical way of assessing the content validity of a measure. So this is basically the research methodology that used in this kind of my research work. It will start with the structuring problem, conceptualization of knowledge, database design, system development, compliance tests, and implementation. So this is the ICRES design process. So structuring problem can be described as a process of identifying and structuring the problem and issues faced by the end user. Conceptualization of knowledge, process of obtaining pertinent and important information from end user so that the systemized solution can be designed and developed. So the database design can be described as a process of designing and developing the database for the systemized solution identified. The system design is process of developing the system and linking it with the developed database. Compliance test is evaluation made by end user to verify the usability, accessibility, and experience of using the developed system. Implementation of the system by end user. And the last one is the sustainability and improvement. So this can be described as the process of sustaining and improving the system as needed, either by end user or developer. The data collection and analysis that used in this kind of research can be divided in two categories, which is the reports, official statistic, program, monitoring data, program, and records that will be retrieve existing documents and data. And the second one is collecting data from individual or group, such as interview, key informant, individual group, focus group discussion, questionnaire, survey, email, web, face-to-face, and mobile data. And the last one is the observation, which is structured or non-structured, recorded through notes, photo, or video. So for my research work, the data collection can be said that we are in progress of 45 to 50% on track. So this is my research publication status. So right now I have 2 papers. I already wrote 2 papers, and it is checked by my supervisor. The first one is analysis on drones RCS for different perspective using LTE frequency, and the second one is the readability and reliability of risk appetite index questionnaire. So this is the status of my thesis writing. So right now I already draft chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. So as you can see that this is the status of these 3 chapter, 50%, 50% and 45%. So this is my Gantt chart. As you can see that for the next semester, I am planning that it will start from August. So I will be the stage at the data collection and database design. At the same time, after I get all the data for my system database, and I will start to develop the system. Thank you, and that's all for my presentation.